Hi, I'm Anqoinette Crosby, and welcome to the weekend edition of Post Today. As a home and design writer here at the Washington Post, You're Conscious has interviewed a lot of captivating people over the years. Today, Your Dish is about interviewing food diva Martha Stewart at her estate. Do you think she really believes what she preaches? I mean, one thing that you've written about is she believes a woman should be in the kitchen, in the dining room, I mean, making the home a beautiful space.
Yeah, and making wreaths. I once wrote an article about how I tried to make one of her Christmas wreaths. My whole family tried to help. We were picking up acorns on Connecticut Avenue and gilding them with gold paper. Believe it, it did not come out.
Who has time to do that? Because women are working outside of the home. I mean, realistically, really, who can do that? Who can live up to those standards?
Crafts are a huge part of her world. I don't know if they're part of your world, Anqoinette.
I wish I had the time for them to be a part of my world, but I don't. But you know, there's something to be said, though. I remember some fond memories of doing those things with my mother.
Yes.
So in that aspect, you know, I think it's great to carve out that.
And she spent a lot of time talking about
much needed, had to be done.
Oh, the Pentagon was in abysmal shape. I mean,
let's talk rats, roaches, and asbestos.
All three. And
those are doozies.
Yeah, they seem to feed on each other because you know the legends of rats the sizes of poodles are proliferate down there, and you know I think some of the old timers will tell you that you know they were kind of nervous about moving down in the basement with some of the cockroaches down there. Now it's not to say they're all gone, but the building is a lot tighter now.
During the course of the renovation project, 9/11 happened. And how did that impact employees that were there and employees that were not there? It may have saved lives.
It did. Probably the most important way it saved lives was that a lot of people who would have been where the plane hit were out of their offices because it was being renovated.
Bachman called her a friend and not a rival. But if Palin did announce she was running, jumped into the race, would that hurt Bachman?
Well, I think it would. I mean, in some ways it would hurt everybody.
Michelle P. Insider called her One Nation bus tour a joke. It's a joke on all of us, the media, her adoring fans following her around when she may know very well if she's running or not.
No one but her, probably at this point, and her husband, knows whether she's going to run for president.
Major Heather Penny was a rookie combat pilot on 9/11 when she was suddenly tasked with taking down United Flight 93. The Washington Post's Steve Hendricks is here to tell us her story. Steve, take us back to that day when she heard of the attacks like all of us.
Well, she was a newly trained combat pilot at the Air National Guard wing in Washington, D.C. They had just come off a 2-week training in Nevada, commercial aircraft. It's one of the remarkable stories from that day that hasn't really been told very often.
And so, what about now? Her life has taken on a different course.
Yeah, she still is a part-time flew with these unarmed aircraft. And they decided the only way to bring it down would be to ram that plane with their planes.
Okay, but obviously that didn't happen because Flight 93 had already crashed in Pennsylvania.
That's right. But just recently, as the 10th anniversary has approached, she's been willing to reflect on one of the more remarkable episodes of the story.
Okay, well, you have a lot more about her life and what she's doing now and even some of her thoughts about that day. Thank you so much, Steve. You can read more of Steve's story right here online, then weigh in with your comments below. I'm Anqoinette Crosby for the Washington Post.